Hey, party people, welcome to Honest Trailer Commentaries, the show where we talk about the other show. Please watch that and then come back to this because we're going to break it down. We're going to give you all of our behind the scenes thoughts, show you some deleted scenes, and answer some viewer questions and comments. So put those in the chat. Joining us today, Emma Fyffe and Bailey Meyers. Hello.
Hello. Thank you for having us and for letting us contribute jokes to this frankly masterpiece.
Yeah,
thank you for telling us what happens in League of Legends.
They're two certified hashtag gamers, and Danielle was unwell this last week, so we got some extra help. So thank you for pitching in and explaining what League of Legends was. Before we dive into this, I wanted our audience to join us in playing a different game. Lon, would you tell them what we were just talking about before we started rolling?
It's a joke. Okay, I was holding up. It's a joke because she doesn't have an S. It's not even true of Catriona Balfe because she doesn't have an S in her name. I was reading this morning that there's never been an Oscar nominee who you can spell the name of the film that they're in with the letters in their name. Now, this is not true. Somebody said this morning and it sent me down a whole rabbit hole, but it's not. They were saying it would have been true of Catriona Balfe if she'd been nominated for Belfast this year, but she doesn't have an S in her name.
But if it has been true,
do we know what her middle name is?
Oh, middle names I don't. Maybe it's Catriona. Susan. So it'd be like Siobhan.
Credited
it'd be
name
something
only.
crazy and it'd be something crazy in Irish. It'd be Catriona Siobhan.
Yeah,
Sure.
if you're like a Sean William Scott, credited as with the middle name, you can use it. But if it's not in if it's not in your IMDb, no, that doesn't count. So as we're talking, don't close this video, but please be thinking about what best acting award nominee. You can also spell the movie title, and I would like
the full movie title using only letters that appear in the actor's name. That's the challenge.
All right, let's talk about Arcane. I guess I'm stalling because this show, these come along once in a while, was really good, and it's hard to write jokes about something that's just like, wow, this is surprisingly good and well made and animated, and they didn't have to do that. They could have just done a League of Legends, just like fight show, and that probably would have been fine too.
Yeah,
Why is it so good? What happened?
People still would have watched it like that. I think that's kind of the thing is what we run into. But the thing is like what we run into a lot. I think with any adaptations of video game properties is the bar is low, first of all, for adaptations. So if you make any effort at all, it's automatically pretty good. But this was beyond pretty good. And it's like, I have a friend who is an animation writer, and he told me he had to talk to his therapist about this show because he just felt like he was failing as an animation writer because he never worked on anything as like prestige as Arcane.
It's just so beautiful. And like, honestly, like you're so right. The bar is so low for video game adaptations. Like I saw the newest Mortal Kombat when it came out and I was like, that was a great video game adaptation. And then Arcane came out like, no, it wasn't, you lunatic. Of course it wasn't. This is a great video game adaptation.
As far as adaptation goes, well, I don't know because I haven't dove into the lore of League of Legends, but I've played a game.
The lore is
like
extensive.
So that is the thing is that, and I think that where this show really succeeds and had an opportunity to succeed, where a lot of other games actually, or game adaptations did have the opportunity to succeed, but just chose not to, is that there is a lot of lore with League of Legends, and most of it is not really in the video game.
Right.
Like 95% of it is not in the video game.
Am I correct in saying, to me, and I have not played League of Legends extensively, so feel free to correct me. But my sense is the game felt more like epic fantasy, and this feels like it's sort of resetting it in more of like a steampunk sort of anime feeling world.
There's like 1,000 characters.
Or is that just my
That's just because of the area of Runeterra that it's set in. Runeterra is the larger world. Right. So there are other areas that are more like typical high fantasy that you would expect. There's an area that's like Norse mythology. There's like all the different kinds of fantasy, but I think intentionally picked the slightly more grounded area as sort of an entry point for people. I do wonder if we're going to explore the other areas in future seasons of Arcane. I'd be really interested to see that.
Yeah.
I think the rumor is we'll keep going with Vi and Jinx's story, but we may get other spin-offs that are different parts of the League of Legends world. So that makes a lot of sense. That you could just set it in a different region and it would be a different vibe while the same franchise.
I mean, after Jinx uses her ultimate on the entire council, she probably has to like book it out of the city. So
yeah, she probably
maybe we'll get to go
somewhere else for a little while.
I was so excited when she did that move, though. I was like, I recognize that one. She does that in the game.
See, I had none of that.
In the game, but
moments like that, but I still thought it was very cool when she shot the thing that was very large.
The big shark thing.
Yeah, let's watch the last trailer. We'll stop and start as we go. Feel free to yell out pause if you have something to say. A lot of requests for this. And Fave.
It was good.
Yeah. Thanks for the recommendation.
From the guy who wrote Toy Story 2 and an NFT crypto show, so I guess it evens out. Plus 2 literal years.
Pause.
Pause.
What a bummer way for me to find that out. Like, I found it out when you sent us the document to add jokes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, come on.
No one was happy to hear that. It appears
more
to be
disappointing. Arcane creators getting into NFTs or Eric Andre? Which side are you?
Oh
which
are you sure is that a prank? It's a prank,
honestly,
right?
Eric Andre,
really, he's doing NFTs.
I feel like there is like and I don't know how old the writer of Toy Story 2 is, but he's older than Eric Andre. There's like an age thing like above which I don't blame you for getting hoodwinked into it because you're like it's
right.
But Eric Andre should know better.
Yeah,
Eric Andre should know better for sure.
Oh no,
heartbreaking.
God, you're killing me.
I actually muted NFT on Twitter, so I don't have to hear about it at all.
Do that. I feel like that
I
want to
know
for my mental health.
I want to be able to hold this against the person in the future. I want to know.
All right, let's keep going.
Comes a show based on the game that taught your 13-year-old cousin all their favorite slurs. Arcane League of Legends. Experience a surprising hit, as in it was a surprise this wasn't crap, with a story that goes deeper than punch the other team's crystal until it explodes, and an animation style that imagines, what if DreamWorks still cared? In a show that mixes cyberpunk.
People are taking some issue with that, and DreamWorks, you kind of flip a coin. It's like, are they going to do a How to Train Your Dragon? Or is it going to be Madagascar? Or are they going to do Boss Baby again? Like they clearly have either
as long
two
as
different
they do the
teams
smirk, I don't care.
As long as they give
That's why I go to see a DreamWorks movie. That's where my money's going. I gotta see the face.
Paramount just grabbed the Smurfs. Those are Nickelodeon now. They missed it. DreamWorks missed their shot.
The Smirkiverse. Yeah.
I thought the DreamWorks joke was fair and very funny.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just glad we got to like point out how great the animation is because, like, every time I watch it, anytime I recommended this show to people, I was like, I honestly haven't seen this good animation since Spider-Verse.
Yeah, it is definitely.
And I stand by that.
And also, it's a fascinating counterpoint to What If, because it kind of looks in some ways similar, like they're going for a similar vibe to the Disney Plus Marvel What If show, but this is like, but what if it looked 10 times better?
Yeah.
Like, the character designs were better, and it's a better blend of like traditional cell animation looking stuff with computer models. And it just like, it was doing the same stuff, but just at a much higher level, I felt like.
And maybe they just had more time because surely Disney is kind of cheap. That they had What If had more money to put together, half the length of animation that this did, and it ended up being so much better. Someone who knows animation
had the budget. They certainly had the budget, but I think it is the time. Like Disney just wanted to get it out very quickly, whereas Arcane, if I'm not mistaken, had the benefit of years to work on this.
Gotcha.
So,
okay, so this is like the debut
album.
All right.
The level of detail in the Arcane animation on the backgrounds and the characters, and like the little textural design, like there's nothing like that in most animated shows. It's a totally different level.
Yeah.
All right. Keep going.
That mixes cyberpunk, steampunk, skatepunk, and Punky Brewster to explore the eternal struggle between tops and bottoms and prove that in any conflict between the elite ruling class and the masses who live in fear and squalor, there are very fine people on both sides. Enter a world where
this is something that I feel like that they kind of killmongered the villain Silko a little bit. Like he would be saying things that are very sensible.
Yeah.
But they put like the most threatening music cues underneath it.
Yeah.
It's like, we're going to have
scars.
food
Like,
for
look
everybody.
at that guy's scars. He's bad.
Yeah.
He was making a lot of great points, and he was an excellent dad. I really don't see the issue the show had with Silko.
Yeah.
It's a great dad.
But you know what? The fact that they tried for a larger societal theme in your League of Legends animated cartoon is props for that. Wait, he said, Silko's, I wrote it down. We came from a world where there was never enough to go around. That's why we fight, remember? But the music is like dun 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 dun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But actually, that's a great point, and we should live in a society wherein resources are allocated equally, and
I just like I get why they didn't want to take us back and explore the origin of the Piltover versus Zon rival. Like I get it. Like that's outside of the scope of the show, and you could just be like, well, Vander and I were fighting about this years ago, and it's still going on. Like, but I do feel like it undermines Silko as a character a little bit. Like we just don't understand. Like why is he bad? Like it seems like he's fighting a good fight. The people of Zon, there's no reason for them to be this oppressed underclass, and without knowing more about it, it's hard to like explain why he's a villain.
He's doing it the wrong way. He should have just voted for something different.
No.
The
issue is the methodology for sure. I do think it's interesting because, like, I know we know it's Zon, but like through the bulk of the show, it really is sort of how Zon came to be. Because for most of it, it's just the Undercity.
Yeah,
and he's fighting for independence and independent nation state of Zon. And in the game, they are like sister cities, so they are independent from each other. So it's sort of the origin story of that entire setup, which I think is really interesting. And Team Silko, and he was right. And maybe if he just murdered fewer people, the music would have been less ominous. But what can you do? Sometimes you gotta murder.
You gotta.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta murder.
Not much would happen in this show. Yeah. Well,
listen.
Let's keep going.
A world where everyone is covered in buckles. And meet grown-up Bratz dolls Vi and Jinx. One is an ex-con turned narc who reloads her fist like Henry Cavill.
Everyone should do that.
The other is a manic pixie dream goth who bites her lip like Lin-Manuel Miranda. They may be.
I was so mad when I read that because it just ruined it for me. As soon as I read that, I was like, son of a, like, I think that I was so angry.
This is a testament to Haley Steinfeld, right? That's she's Jinx.
Yeah.
No.
Jinx
she's
is
Vi.
Ella
Purnell from Yellow Jackets.
Well, then Ella Purnell,
the absolute expert at playing a trauma-riddled teenager, like just the queen of it.
Well, yeah, she's so killing it because I'm not like a Harley Quinn fan. I don't like the I don't know what you call it. It's in a cut scene, but like I'm so random holds up Spork like the penguin.
I would say the sexy jester archetype.
The sexy jester archetype.
But
but I think that like whether it was her performance or I mean really just the fact that it took time to give her a backstory and really develop her character, I thought it was really good in this case. Unfortunately, the lip bite is something that I will always associate with Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Terrible.
And will reference really at any chance we get.
Yeah. No, I do think like in the game, like Jinx's whole thing was she's like fun, sexy, kooky, zany. Like there wasn't a lot of like there was no reason to be like, oh, it's like fun crazy, you know, like she'll like party real fun. And yeah, she likes explosives, but like whatever. And then this show dared to be like, what if it wasn't fun crazy? What if it was trauma crazy? And actually she's not sexy. She's haunted. And it's like, perfect. I love what you're doing here, show. Keep doing it.
But she still dresses like she's going to like backstage at a Sum 41 concert circa.
You can't do too much with the original character design, but also like I wouldn't wear that outfit if I saw it in a store. It's a cool outfit. I like the top.
Charlotte, we're also haunted. Okay.
He's coming back. Now's my chance to get that studded belt. My mom never.
I was gonna say right now, I'm pretty sure that My Chemical Romance is like the biggest band in the world. So you know, if you want to start rocking that early 2000s Hot Topic style again, like it's it's coming back around because we've been in this 90s resurgence, so we're on the cusp of early 2000s.
Move through chronologically. We are running out of decades to cop fashion.
God, can we just do
so
like
I just
a
wonder
time skip?
where we're going next.
I know, man. Those early to mid aughts was quite an era.
We could just miss the low-rise jeans, which have come back, and just go right back to like.
Oh God, no! I will never wear low-rise jeans again.
The zipper that's like 3 little zips up.
I think at some point we should
just. I was a child. I'm not doing it again.
Yeah.
At some point, I think we just reset and go right back to hippie, right? Like there was at some point we're gonna just get right, like flower children, and just like start it all over again.
Yeah, that's fair. I am rewatching. I am watching Pam and Tommy, which is taking me back to that era. And you know, there's something to be said for Bleach tips. All right, let's keep watching.
They may be on opposite sides of a techno-magic war, but they're both way too cute to be anything but the heroes. I mean, right? In a show that goes all in on the everyone good is hot while everyone bad is physically deformed trope, watch Good, Evil, Good, Evil, Hot, but one-armed, so evil, super evil, good. Also,
he's a little hot.
While these mad by Jinx go down in the Undercity, take the elevator up to Piltover for supply chain issues, the series.
The Hex gates must remain open. Piltover's status as a global shipping lane depends on it.
Without the Hex gates, my goods cannot reach foreign markets till winter.
In this walled paradise where magic is like science, and science is like CrossFit.
Yeah, pause
you
for a
trace
second. They made a big meal out of the magic versus science divide, and it both looked like you're just kind of hitting gems with different
to be honest, I don't think I fully understood the difference between magic and science because it all involved rocks.
I think that they set it up at the beginning like you can be born magic. No, maybe that's like a natural occurring thing, and like the arcane is something you're born with, and but was anybody naturally magical?
Like a naturally occurring resource that some people are more likely to have than others, but you can harness it for
I think it's the difference between a person just being in touch enough with the magic to be like a mage, where like they can do spells or cast it themselves, versus here's a machine that uses this gem that anyone could use. I think that's the dividing line. Like, so something like that transport system that he builds that relies on the gems, that's the techno magic stuff.
It was just
instead of just like a sorcerer being like, ding, and then it
Look, I don't want to get too like, cinema dings with it, but they did that thing where the time jump was like, okay, they've used this tech to create like the bedrock of their society, like their shipping and their transport.
Yeah, magic FedEx.
But he's like, I want to make some gloves. And like, oh, it's too risky. No, you have to wait 10 years. No, you'll never make a glove until it's safe. Like, all right, whatever. Stupid.
But it was a weapon, and it just they were like
the gloves were technically not a weapon.
Okay, yes, they were for mining.
They were for construction. Yeah,
make you grab rocks better.
Right.
In fact,
maybe Heimerdinger knew that they were going to be used as a weapon because he's super smart and has been around since the beginning of time or whatever.
Is he good in the game? I can't imagine him fighting anything. Can he fight? What does he do?
I've never mained him. I only ever pick the hot ladies.
Oh, fair. All right, keep going.
As you trace the rise and fall of Jace, a himbo who invents new ways to make the pores work faster.
The Atlas Gauntlets. The mining colonies and the fissures can work faster and without fatigue.
He'll get seduced by power, and maybe his friend Victor too.
We're partners. No, not in front of all of them.
Because this show loves it when guys and gals go right up to the edge of being more than pals, but nothing more.
You're hot, Cupcake.
Can't jeopardize that China release. Either that or French animators make everything look sexual. Probably both. So dive into a sprawl.
So are there like ships, or is it canon like in the lore that these people are hooking up, or is that just something the show wanted to toe up to?
It's more fans have kind of shipped characters, I feel like, over the years. Again, like in League, actually, there isn't like none of the story stuff plays out in the game. The game, as you very accurately described, Spencer, is punch each other's rocks until they blow up.
Yeah. Great game.
Yeah, great game.
Nothing wrong with that.
This is a great game adaptation. Oh my god!
Yeah,
it's all coming together.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's
All
exactly what
they
it
do
is.
is punch the rocks. Oh my god!
Gotta punch the rocks. So, but it was interesting because I remember when the first 3 episodes were airing that there were a lot of people talking about the Jason Victor of it all and if it was going to happen, and people were, disappointed that it didn't. Right. But
so this actually did get Tencent is a Chinese company that owns League, and
one of the biggest companies in the world.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's been the ostensible reason why a lot of same-sex stuff has been cut out of Disney movies and Marvel movies. Or, I guess the same thing. I wondered, because this is a show where you could have people hooking up, right?
There's sex in this show. It just happens to be between a man and a lady. But that doesn't mean there couldn't be sex between a lady and a lady. And they certainly, especially I feel with Vi and Caitlyn, they definitely imply that there's some lady to lady action happening in that sort of brothel situation that they go to.
She pimps her out. She's fully is like, all right, you need to go have sex with one of these people.
And in the game, Vi and Caitlyn are partners. Now they don't really fully elaborate on what partners means.
Right. They just have good skills that work together.
Yeah. I mean, they work. Yeah, they work together.
They're pushing. Game, they're cops, but in the show, maybe they're more.
Maybe they're more than cops
with benefits.
They're pushing right up to the line of confirming it as close as they could possibly go. There's no daylight there with the cupcake stuff.
Yeah,
but that's as far as they can get.
Friends call each other cupcake from less than an inch of distance.
It's not confirmation. It's just probably.
I mean, they did that classic thing that shows always do when they want to imply 2 characters are in lesbians for each other, which is they lay side by side on a bed facing opposite directions.
Oh God, that is classic.
Every time.
Yeah.
It's when Caitlyn shows Vi just how freaking rich she is. And Vi's like, all right, I guess this makes sense based on everything I know about you. Yeah. Also, fun fact, Caitlyn's 6 feet tall.
Well, I was gonna say, cool? She's so much taller than everyone, and then the scenes from her princess bedroom when she had her her wall of investigation on the floor, she still stood up on a stool, and I just felt that was unnecessary. You're 7 feet tall, you still needed a boost.
Sometimes you just got to get a bird's eye view.
Yeah.
Has anyone watched that Tall Girl movie on Netflix?
No.
Because they're making a sequel. And I want to know what there was unresolved from Tall Girl 1 that's necessitated Tall Girl 2.
I know the answer to
one
this.
final growth spurt.
Yeah.
The first movie is about she feels awkward and out of place because she's so tall. But then by the end, she gets comfortable in her own skin, gains confidence, and becomes one of the popular kids at her school. But then part 2 is becoming popular has made her a monster, and now she's her old family and friends, and she can't it's Mean Girls. They just split the Mean Girls arc into 2 films.
Gotcha.
It's like that episode of Lizzie McGuire when Lizzie becomes a model, but a lengthy bad movie instead of an excellent 20-minute television show.
Does she also have a short boyfriend?
Yes. In fact, it's the guy from. Does anybody watch Lock and Key on Netflix? It's the kid on Lock and Key who got an evil demon in him in season 2. He's the boyfriend from the Tall Girl films.
Yeah.
I do think, Tall Girl and Short Boy.
Tall Girl meets Short Boy.
That's a superhero team I can get behind. Lon, I really appreciate that you're the resident Tall Girl expert.
I know.
Gotta
you're
keep
just
up with
educating us.
He's the resident everything.
Streaming calendar. Gotta keep
I was just hoping they would get a taller girl. I was hoping that's what
every new movie has to be an exponentially taller girl.
It's like the Princess Switch. There's just an extra Vanessa Hudgens in every single one. So why not do that with Tall Girl?
But not in every single one. They didn't add a 4th Vanessa Hudgens in the most recent one. And there was a perfect opportunity for them to do it. If you've seen the Princess Switch 3, y'all know the moment I'm talking about.
Maybe they'll add 2 in the next one to make up for
They've got to now. We got a Hudgens deficit. We got to add a Hudgens.
Diminishing Hudgens returns. I'm sorry. 3 is plenty. Okay, let's keep on to this.
new adventure
My tall
that's
girl
so much
6 is
better
gonna
than
be
how
like
it sounds on paper, mixing tons of Easter eggs for game fans with fully fleshed out characters and themes.
They've got plenty while we're down here scraping together coins.
Mixing prequel level plot lines
Exactly the sort of thing we wanted to fix with Hex Tech, not just trade disputes.
with anime style action that might as well have them yelling out their attack names. And
Pause.
somehow mixing imagine.
What is the name of her ultimate? It's really stupid. I looked it up. It's like super happy fun gun.
Yeah,
I try not to read it every time I see it because it makes me roll my eyes.
Oh, God, it is something exactly like that.
It is.
God, it really takes down the whole board, though, huh?
The super mega death
right down a
rocket,
lane.
and I
Super
really
mega
think
death
she
rocket,
should have
yeah.
yelled super mega death rocket in Japanese at that point.
Right?
She was mourning.
Yeah.
She was in mourning.
That doesn't stop
Next
anime.
time she
No,
will.
I'm sorry. Have you seen My Hero Academia and the
Yes.
number of times that Deku is like sad yelling Detroit Smash or whatever American City
You're
Smash?
right. I stand corrected.
All right. Anyways, keep playing.
And somehow mixing Imagine Dragons with music you'd actually listen to. No,
Good song.
this gym has to be a fluke.
Fine.
Don't push your luck.
I'd just gotten it
Stupid
out of my
good
head,
video game
too.
show. Starring Sister from Another Resistor.
Oh, Mr. S, you're my pudding.
The War Loser.
Nice, John.
Elizabeth from Bioshock Infinite. World's okayest dad. Professor Cuddles MD.
Yeah,
Mommy
pause on
issues.
just briefly the Elizabeth from Bioshock Infinite. There were a lot of Bioshock like Infinite City in the Sky vibes, but there was also, as far as the anime influence, I thought it was a nice nod to that by having all of the cops dressed like French maids. I thought that was a nice that was a nice touch, and didn't go unnoticed. So, anyways, keep playing.
Mommy issues. A genius with a cough? Oh, he's screwed. Dexter's Lab. If you do not smoke
Yes,
this,
my
we have a
bad.
problem. The TVA's #1 ranked player. Little Buff Boys. Do or do not are going to cost you extra, that will. And, oh, are they okay?
Mom!
Jinx.
Lol. What?
That's dumb, but it made me laugh.
No, it was dumb.
Very
I
unclear how
love
species
it,
works in
yeah.
Piltover. Seems like it's 99.99% human, and then every once in a while there's like one hamster. Must be really hard to date.
Yeah, well, I think
feel
someone
really
pointed out in the
bad for
comments.
the gargoyles. Yeah.
Yeah, that there's just you just gotta be furry adjacent or fur friendly.
Fur
at that point.
friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the thing that you could figure out with like apps. Like there's just, you select in your app like what you're
Your dating
if you're
app, like
open
what
to
you're
that.
into.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
there's a workaround for this sort of for
You
this.
do have to pay
if you're
premium, though.
if you're in a
Mhm.
city with like a selection of 8 species, you just gotta pick and choose.
Well, I
Mhm.
want
That's
season
the
2 to
$3 a
have
month.
Heimding, Harvey the super hamster, and and the Yoda brothel workers, and just have like a 45-minute like extended scene. That's on my wish
Well,
list for season.
He's down in the Undercity now, so
Yeah.
your wish may come true.
Exactly.
It's
He's
true.
gonna learn a thing or 3. All right, we have I think some deleted scenes, maybe.
Ooh.
Finally,
Deleted
Soderbergh will come on
scenes.
board to direct if there's some
Yeah.
sex scenes in it. That's his
Yeah.
prerequisite.
Let's roll those if we have them.
Starring
Just other names.
Cud Bishop. Extremely strong female lead. Vi for Vendetta. Thought Topic. We are Hex
Love Thought
Baba, and
Topic.
we're here to make you think about death and get sad and stuff. The Luna Bomber. Misery Business. Gnarly Quinn. The Counselor. Talisman. Bad Decisions. Hammer Time. Fascist Pilty Dream
So
Girl.
many.
Downtown
Yeah.
Crabby. Uptown Girl. The 6050. 2.0 Face. Dick's Underground. Board Talk Empire. Surprisingly okay father figure. No Madge. Teddy Talk. Licensed to Gerbil. Winnie the PhD. A Furby with a doctorate. Golden Girls. I Can Fix Her. Shimmer down now. Despite all my rage, I am still just a Piltover mage. This definitely isn't going to end badly. What's your vector, Victor? Dr. Scratch and Sniff, Zon Grower Man, Triple X, The Return of Vander Rage, Mr. Echo, #Resist, Fred or Fohawks, Envy's Best, Gearhead, Senator Skynet, Coda.
Oh, yeah, we cut
Ballistic,
Well.
Hex versus Sister.
Oh, sorry, Lon.
Hex and the City. Impractical Magic.
I miss
Every
The
Senator
Righteous
Skynet.
Gemstone.
It
Bizarre
got
Wars
in here. That's all
Rebels.
that counts.
Marble Madness. Zon, baby, Zon. Wow, rough couple of years for the Gorillas. Albert should have never said Taylor Swift doesn't write her own songs.
That was the Gorillas? Anyways,
No,
sometimes I don't understand.
that
what
scene
we
is not
write
the
ourselves.
Gorillas, but the way that like music video of Echo's gang was cut together was very Gorillas video sort of.
Again, another thing that just doesn't
That's
sound good on
stylized.
paper is
Yeah.
like putting music videos in the middle of episodes, and I liked it. I liked it every time. I thought it was very cool.
If it works for Euphoria, like why not?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They tricked me into
Do it
listening to a
everywhere.
whole Imagine Dragons song.
Yeah,
Dare
because
they?
Imagine Dragons were just in the show.
Yeah,
They
It's
were.
like
They were
literally
Look,
they were
everybody.
just in it.
amazing.
And they look so much more interesting in the show.
Yeah.
Certainly more interesting than their performance at the Game Awards, where it looked like
Oh
the
my
lead singer
God.
didn't know he was going to be on camera.
What
Mm.
what's the gaming link with Imagine Dragons? Is it just
They play
'cause
League.
It's
Yeah.
gotcha. That makes so much sense now.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Fair
I
enough.
was like, that's an interesting pick. Just like, oh, but yes, they're tied to the game.
Yes.
Wow.
I imagine it's a combination of League players and low selling point, you know?
Mm.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
an easy to purchase kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
I did particularly like the cut Bishop on the end of the Imagine Dragons joke, because there is a joke in Hawkeye where Kate Bishop, also played by Haley Steinfeld, says to one of the people they've taken prisoner, on the plus side, you don't have to go see Imagine Dragons.
Imagine Dragons.
Yeah.
Yes. Hawkeye also having Imagine Dragons.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, it just reminds me of like NBA Jam when they put like Bill Clinton in it.
Yeah.
Like they need to put more real people in games and vice versa.
Mhm.
All right, on to the fan questions that
All
are
right.
we're getting them fast and furious here. Matan Valensky says, after Arcane and Invincible, what do you think about new animated shows starting to raise the regular runtime to 45 minutes? Well, I'm going to disregard that question. What do you think about like these new animated shows being super good? This is actually like very unexpected. Has there been like an era of serialized TV animation that's been as good as these last two shows, do we think?
See, kids animation has been knocking it out of the park
Yeah.
for a while now, but it's like new to have it in the adult space. as
Yeah.
So
well.
yeah, I mean, that is the thing that is super interesting, I think, about sort of the scope of animation as we understand it in a Western culture, which is that adult animation in Western culture for a long time has truly all been comedy for the most part. And it's been comedy that's really trying to push the boundaries of, sex jokes and blood, guts, and gore and poop jokes and just like kind of, I don't know, stuff like that.
Do you
But
not love that Family Guy style edgy humor? Is that
Or-
not your favorite?
Or it's the sad horse show.
right, exactly. Or it's BoJack Horseman, which is
Right.
amazing. I love
do
BoJack Horseman. But like the thing is that again, it does rely so heavily on edgy humor, and I think that one of the things that was so refreshing for me about Arcane was how sincere this show was from top to bottom. Especially because again, this came out around the same time that Hawkeye came out, and I liked Hawkeye, but the first couple episodes, I was like, God, this dialogue is so quippy, and there's no quippy dialogue in Arcane. It's just like nice, like really heartfelt conversations, and it doesn't try to be clever. It's like, no, we're just gonna tell a really good story, and it's for grown-ups. And I think that is something that has been happening in anime, in like Japanese animation and like that for a long time, but it's just not something that we've seen being originally produced in the West. Now we have seen a ton of animated series that are technically for kids, sort of the 7 to 12-year-old range. I'm thinking of things like your Star Wars Rebels, your Avatar: The Last Airbenders, Legend of Korra, that kind of stuff. But again, like that is really good animation that's for kids, that's not treating kids like they're idiots.
Yeah.
Right.
And now you have stuff like Arcane and like Invincible and like Legend of Vox Machina, where it's like, no, this is for grownups, and it's for grownups. The end. Children should not watch this show.
Yeah, it's a good time to be alive, to be old.
Yeah.
Mateo, I'm going to give you another shot. I like this question better. How long until Overwatch does its answer out of necessity after Bobby's gone, of course? And what'll it be like? Do we think we already have those shorts.
Yeah,
right?
well, that's the thing, is that like there's a lot of good Overwatch story stuff in those shorts. I have a neighbor who's an Overwatch player, and a lot of the time if we're hanging out at their place and we've been partying and she has a few too many tequilas, she will just divert from whatever we were actually doing and make us watch all the Overwatch shorts. So I've actually seen them a number of times.
We're doing it again.
We're doing it again.
Good
okay,
party.
cool. Well, we gotta cry over Soldier 76 again. Here we go.
One more time.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it does feel like Overwatch would be a good candidate for a series like this, because similar to League of Legends, it has a lot of lore that's not actually in the gameplay.
Yeah, that seems to be kind of the secret sauce.
I just hope we don't get to a world where these feel inevitable. Like if it's a universe that's sort of ripe for storytelling, and it's exactly what Emma's describing. Like it's like we've got a tantalizing little taste of the lore and the backstory, but there's more you could expand on. That's like perfect for a spin-off or an adaptation. I don't know if every game is necessarily as equally like I think it'd be better if they pick and choose than be like, okay, League of Legends did one. Now every multiplayer, battle game is going to have one. Like,
well,
I hope not.
Feels like Overwatch will probably happen though, because when you're talking about your two, some of your biggest players as far as your Western game companies go, Riot and Blizzard are like,
and Blizzard.
I mean, they're all gonna try.
Like
I'm sure Bungie's had meetings about the Destiny show as well. Like it's all
we're getting the Halo one. All Blizzard can do at this point is make a good cinematic cutscene. I can't say too much about anything else they're doing these days. So speaking of which, James Bond asked, what other game you want to see get the Arcane treatment? Speaking not running this into the ground, let's give them some ideas. Anything else that you would love to see the lore given like a prestige animated show?
I don't know why. The first thing that came into my head was Streets of Rage.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
But I went a totally different direction. Totally different direction. My brain went Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing. I just want a gritty television show exploring the tragic backstory that made Tom Nook the way he is.
There's an Animal Crossing like anime film from many years ago now, and I remember I've seen it. It was pretty boring.
That sounds
then
right.
I guess there's room for improvement.
Yes, exactly.
I'll write a letter.
Playing Animal Crossing is like barely an activity. It's very engaging, but watching Animal Crossing might be like an aquarium. That's very
I still felt like it's been years and years since there's been any movement on this. I know Guillermo del Toro had wanted to do it at one point. The original BioShock, like the Rapture
Guillermo
stuff.
del Toro, BioShock.
Yeah, Guillermo del Toro doing a Rapture. I've never gotten over reading that might happen and wanting to see that. That sounds incredible, and I still would love to see that. The other game that's like a more contemporary title that I think is very cinematic would be Horizon Zero Dawn, and then there's the new one that's coming out. Like, just a cool world that would be cool to see a filmmaker realize in a movie. And I'm sure you could do a lot of really fun action-y set pieces in that universe.
Yeah. I think that's where I sometimes come up against a little bit of a struggle, is if the game itself is already very cinematic and story driven, then why do we need a TV show of it or a movie of it? You know what I mean?
I kind of feel like it's almost what they do in The Witcher. It's like rather than just redoing the plot of
you're totally
game,
right.
You sort of figure out what's a broader sweep we could take on the whole world of this story. Like maybe it doesn't even have to be set at the same time or something. Like, I agree with what you're saying. Like, you don't want to do the Assassin's Creed, like just retell the story of the game in the movie. Yeah. That doesn't work.
No, it does not.
I like Guillermo del Toro if his if it fell through doing a BioShock, I want him to do a Soulsborne TV show where it's just made out of weird item text, and he somehow makes it into like the most gothic, disgusting, difficult to understand show of all time. I would love it.
I want him to make a Luigi's Mansion show.
Oh yeah, or that.
Oh man,
he did Troll Hunters, right? That's he can do like kids animation. It'd be fun.
Film it at his own house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wanted to do a Haunted Mansion show. He wanted to do a Haunted Mansion movie. I'm still devastated that didn't happen. It could kind of happen if we make it in Luigi's Mansion instead.
Most of his stuff has a Haunted Mansion in it, or it's like Haunted Mansion adjacent.
It's Haunted Mansion adjacent.
Well, you can see pictures of his actual house. He lives.
He does live
He lives in a haunted mansion.
Yeah.
And I love that for him. Oh my God.
Good for him.
All right, we'll end on this. An easy one, maybe from Tyran asks, what were your favorite characters? I guess in the show or maybe in League.
Man, do you ever have a character that you come up against? You're just so angry at them and frustrated with them all the time because you recognize that they are making the exact same stupid decisions that you would make. That was my relationship with Vi. I couldn't handle it. I was like, she's driving me nuts because like I see myself making all the exact same stupid ass decisions she made. Yeah. So I have love in my heart for that. I love Victor. I think Victor might be my fave. Yeah.
He really has that movie disease where it's like a cough with a little bit of blood, and you're like, well, you're going to be a monster or a robot by the end of this.
Exactly.
I've ever seen.
Yeah. Bailey, you have a favorite?
Let me think. I have been thinking. Let me think some more.
I love
Silko. I love Silko.
Yeah.
I think he's a very layered and nuanced villain. I think again, it's like he has a lot of very good points. Like it's just the way he goes about them is pretty dang villainous, but he's a good dad to Jinx, and he is genuinely trying to achieve independence for the people of his city. It's just his methodology is all whack. And I just think that's very cool and complex, and it's not just your typical literal cartoon villain. He's got more to him. He's got layers.
You know who I liked was
I can fix him.
I don't remember her name, but the councilwoman's big mama who showed up for one episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I liked her little boy toy. Actually, I changed my answer. Her little boy toy was my favorite character.
I want to see more of her.
Amazing.
I was going to say I was very distracted by Finn is the name of the character with the golden lower jaw. And I found that
we didn't get enough jaw
leader. Tattooed gentleman with the golden metal lower jaw, and which I found very distracting because it must be a disaster. How do you eat with half of your jaw being a metal? I don't feel like that's very practical, especially for soups and other liquids. Feels like
we never got to we never got to see him use that jaw.
No, I kept waiting for there to be a scene where he has to eat something. Like, how does this work? This seems like a very bad solution.
Listen, it's steampunk. Metals interact with liquids all the time, and people just roll with it.
True.
I feel like this guy eats.
It would be so rusty,
like nobody's business.
But just think about like any liquid you're trying to drink, and you can't adjust your lip around it. It's a problem.
Yeah,
like
he tilts his head.
You're pouring instead.
Try
of
eating
sipping.
like pasta, like you're Pac-Man. It just doesn't work.
That is how I eat pasta. To be fair.
I just really wanted them to have to animate it. I kept waiting for them to like show me Finn eating, and it never happened.
We'll have to wait till next season, where we'll hopefully still be alive, and I'll have you back to talk more about Arcane, because this was fun. But next week, please join us when we'll be doing something else that we probably should have gotten to earlier, but we didn't want to revisit it. But apparently people want to revisit this, even though I think we're done revisiting this. And that's your clue. right,
I did not want to revisit
I did not want to go back to this, but there's no rest for the dead. There's your clue for next week. Thank you, Bailey. Thank you, Emma.
Of course.
People can find you on social and Fandom Games, right? That's the best plug?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Check that out.
Games,
if you're on the wikis, chances are you'll see videos that I produced, because I mostly produce branded content. So
if you ever read any articles, you got this gal to thank.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.